Okay, here we go on live again. And after a little break, didn't want to make it too long to lose your attention. But here we go. So we're talking about drinking on Purim. So the Jew is never coerced by nature to do evil. Might be harder for one person because of his nature, because of the personality, difficult. His nature is born on one day of the week or month, or born on a certain propensity. His nature, different personality. It's heavy influence of Mars, born under the Mars, planet Mars, tendency to bloodshed, but born under Mars, so is prone likely to do damage. So he should not be drinking. If no tendency, the mitzvah can protect you. So there's no stumbling or mishaps from a mitzvah of drinking, excessive danger. Why did Esther invite Haman to the party? Esther survived. She had the 30 days, and she went to the king after 30 days, and she survived. She got into King Achashverosh. So what of all the she could ask for anything from the king, and why did she invite Haman to the party? So the epilogue said that one of the reasons could be she set trap for Haman. She got Haman in trouble. So we could talk about this going into King David. King David had a tendency for bloodshed. He didn't build the Beis Hamikdash because of the wars. He had blood on his hands, and you have to elevate this. But he should have elevated this blood. If he built the Beis Hamikdash, it could have been a permanent and everlasting Beis Hamikdash. So you have to elevate this blood, a new Torah, new perspective on the Torah. If he had a higher consciousness, his true purpose, King David would have built the Beis Hamikdash. It would have been permanent, everlasting. So the purpose of our being here is to transform the darkness into light. And later on, I'm going to talk about how we could look at the Haman and even Hitler to transform this inside of us. And what I want to say before I went into that is that I'm using the law of attraction and metaphysics to see what is happening here, to see the metaphysical and the law of the metaphysics and the law of attraction, to understand what is really happening. It's triggered. We created Haman because deep within the Jewish soul, after the Beis Hamikdash, a destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, the Jewish yearning for Jerusalem, yearning for the return to Jerusalem and the Beis Hamikdash. So Haman is like Pharaoh. Stubbornly, we went into our layers of our soul in order to release our nature. We have this yearning for Jerusalem. Haman wakes us up, and he explore the soul to return to Jerusalem after destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. So just wanted to preface that with I'm using the law of attraction and metaphysics to see what is happening here, to understand what is really happening, why we have Haman or even Hitler, to transform this inside of us. And I'm going to go over that later on in this later on in the video if I get to it. Okay, or I'll maybe have to make a part 3. Okay, let's see. So we have Esther invites Haman to the party. Esther survived. She got into the king. And why did she invite Haman to the party? The epilogue set a trap for Haman, got Haman to get Haman in trouble. The opposition to trap Haman. If it said, if you feed your enemy, you're nice to your enemy, Hashem will help your situation. If you're nice to your enemy, Hashem will help your situation. If he was planning a rebellion, if Haman was planning a assassination attempt on the king, Achashverosh, she wouldn't want him to make Haman successful in killing Achashverosh, so that's why she invited Haman to the party. She didn't want to make Haman suspicious, wants him to think that she's not Jewish. to have the Jew. Also, another reason could be to have the Jews do sincere teshuvah, deal with the cause of things. Jews could get nervous, so they wouldn't know if her allegiance was to a Jew or to a Haman, to the Jews or to Haman. So the Jews would have a doubt, and they would do teshuvah. Also, another reason was to keep tabs on Haman. She wanted to get on. Another reason was she wanted to get Hashem upset. As a wife would flirt with another man to make her husband jealous. Esther wanted to make Hashem jealous, so she wanted to flirt with another man to make her husband jealous. So wife would flirt with a stranger to make her husband jealous. Another reason could be to invite Haman to the party. That she pushed herself so much that she invited Hashem. Hashem would see that she invited Haman to the party to get mercy from Hashem. Also, another reason could be she could wink. She could wink at the king, or wink at Haman, so the king would kill Haman. She would wink at Haman, and then the king would get jealous and kill Haman. And Esther did all this research, and if the decree would be canceled if he gets killed. So they wanted Haman to be there. She wanted the king and his ministers to get jealous of Haman, and also it could have been before the crash. There was a high point. So wicked people, you lift up a wicked person, so they fall down harder, fall quicker and harder. So they invited him to this great feast to raise him up so he could fall down harder and quicker. Also, Vashti's grandfather, Hashem caused them to get punished. So finally, the rabbi asked, Eliyahu Hanavi, which rabbi was right? He was so, anxious to find out which rabbi was right. He asked Eliyahu Hanavi who was right. So the feast of the mitzvah protects you. The feast of the mitzvah, a miracle, protects you. The feast of the mitzvah protects you. The feast of the miracle, not a feast, no protection. So the incident almost of murder, it's all correct. The feast of salvation will come, the retribution to the wicked. So the mitzvah will protect you. The leader of the generation was Rabbah. So he's like this great rabbi. How could he have slaughtered his friend? How could he have slaughtered his friend? But after he got drunk. It could think of it as it's not literal that he pressured him to drink, so he got sick. He was almost dying. He drank wine, and you could think that wine you drink through the throat, and it's like a slaughtering. You pray through your throat. It's like a slaughtering. So you would get healed. Also, the second set of Lucas is a reflection of the meaning of the first set of luchos. You don't hear slaughter like when you hear the commandment "do not kill." All you hear is the word "kill." So the universe doesn't hear the word "do not kill" or "do not murder." It hears the word "kill." So you slaughter. The first commandment is "do not kill." The universe hears "kill." So it's almost Anochi, the slaughtering. You had to have Anochi, I am your God, is the slaughtering, the previous perception of the identity to get to a higher level. In order to get to that higher level, you can't, the universe only hears kill. So when you say do not kill, it's kill. So Anochi, you have to slaughter that and get to your higher self to prevent that killing. So he would be healed. Let's see. So he would get healed, brought him to life. It mitigates it. He revived him. It mitigates it. So can't be the literal. It had to be a trick or an illusion. The thought that he really shekted him, and he worried. He got fainted. It's like a Purim magician, a magic trick. He thought he was going to cut him in half, and he fainted. Born under the influence of a bloodshed. You have other outlets. You become a memorial. You become a ritual slaughterer. Control yourself. So why did he say next year? He says, let's do it again. You should stay away from this. Why did he say, let's do it again? He didn't apologize or say, I'm sorry. He said next year invites him to do it again. But he said, I'm not going to try it again. It's too risky because maybe the miracle won't happen. I won't be able to revive you. So it's a positive experience. Why do you say do it again? Not do it again because it may not be able to revive you next time. So in the Parsha, the 8th day, the dedication of the Mishkan, 1 year after the Exodus, you have the building of the tabernacle and the tragedy of the 2 sons of Aaron killed. They died in the sanctuary. And when this happened, there was a fire. And what was the sin? Why were these 2 sons of Aaron burned in the fire and killed? Their souls were stuffed out because they went intoxicated into the Beis Hamikdash. They went intoxicated, drunk into the Mishkan. So in the intoxication, they went in, and God told Moses, don't drink. Only after the fact, after that got killed for being intoxicated, the 2 sons of Aaron, God told Moses, don't ever drink before or go under the influence to serve Hashem. So don't ever come under the influence when you come to serve to Hashem in the temple. So God told Moses after this happened. So Moses told Aaron, I knew something was going to happen. He knew it would be you. He thought it would be me or you. So Moses told Aaron that I thought it would be Moses or myself or Aaron who would get killed, but it happened to be your sons who died. So they were holier than us and the sons. So we ask, how can these be drunkards, these 2 sons, be holier than Moses, holier than Aaron? How could they be holier than Aaron and Moses, these drunkards? What did they die of? So they got too close to Hashem. The revelation of the experience was too intense. The revelation was too intense. The revelation of godliness, the feelings of the revelation was that they felt this revelation, and this was the cause of their death, the kiss of death. The kiss of death to Tzaddikim, the kiss from God. Regular Tzaddikim, the kiss comes to them. So regular Tzaddikim, they're on their deathbed, the kiss of death comes to them. But the sons of Aaron, they went to it. They seeked it out. So the great feelings of the righteousness, of the righteous, even though they serve their death, they would, even though they knew they would die, they died from this. They wanted the experience. They couldn't resist the allure, the sweetness, the pleasure, the bonding, the desire, the yearning. They tasted this revelation of this godliness, and they overdosed on godliness. They couldn't resist this temptation, this pleasure that they would get from this revelation of godliness. So they overdosed on godliness, and their soul left the body. The godly revelation, the reality, the taste of reality. The soul was so repulsed by the bodily feelings, and the feelings, the experience of the body was disgusted. So by the physical of the body, so the soul leaves the body to become part of Hashem again. The great, holy, divine revelation. Also, we can liken this to the sanctification of eating. They are spiritual warriors. They're devoted to Hashem. They drink a lot at a great feast. You have great people that would drink at the Suda's mitzvah. They drink wine more and joyous. Great people, they're uninhibited, end up sharing and revealing themselves to others. There's more Torah insights. They use wine to reveal the inner secrets of the Torah, the inner aspects of the Torah, the deep meanings of the Torah, using wine. Holy souls, the good results from this. So Shabbos you have with good people, with more Torah, and with more shared joy through joy induced by alcohol. The reason is great joy, state of more expansiveness, overdose, and the overdose of Natan and Aviram, the 2 sons of Aaron. They didn't get married. They couldn't stand the world's physical world. So they were holy, but this is not the ideal way. This is not something that we, as Jews, would want. We're supposed to be in this world. We're not supposed to die. We're supposed to bring holiness into this world, make a dira batatonim here, and live for Hashem's purpose for us here on this earth. They're holy, but not the ideal. Something was wrong. You're not supposed to leave this world. You're supposed to stay in this world. It's healthy to stay grounded. So the wine experience, the wine is the secrets of the Torah, the secret layers of Torah, the godliness of the Torah. So you have a small vessel. Maybe a small vessel can only handle a little bit of wine, while a larger vessel would be able to handle more wine. So too much, a small vessel is too much for him. A little bit of wine, the experience, the godliness, you can handle it now. When is it okay to drink? When is it okay not to drink on Purim? So joy of eating, drinking, celebration. We're celebrating. We have joy of being in Jewish bodies. Haman wanted to get rid of Jewish bodies, but we're celebrating the Jewish bodies and having joy in Jewish bodies with no restraints. Not instructed to get drunk and degrade ourselves. Not joy, and it says not joy, no silliness, frivolousness, or no foolishness, but that's wrong. You're supposed to become foolish on Purim. You're supposed to become foolish on Yom Kippur. Purim, it's a simcha. You need to be childlike, make people joyous, set yourself free from the judgment of others, set yourself free and set others free. If you're too cold, it's no good. It's good to be silly. If you're too cold, you're like Amalek, cools you off. Don't get too crazy, but you're supposed to be get a little bit silly, I think. But here it said no silliness, no frivolousness, no foolishness. So excitement for what Hashem did for us. The simcha of Hashem saved us. Not that you should get wildly drunk, or it's prohibited to get drunk to do horrible sins. Worst sin is immorality of behavior and murder. So you shouldn't get drunk to do that, but drink more than usual. Do joyous things, more generous, share money, loosen our pockets, share money with others, and words of comfort to others, and be generous to others. So, okay, and I'm going to go back to this here. It's a Teva, the ark, confined in all animals, all creation with Teva, all the variations of creation within the Teva. Every cell in our body is like a Teva, which contains all the genetic information, our makeup of all who we are, name, nature, numeric value of Elohim. God is plural. God in the plural, Elohim. Teva, many reflections of source. Divine limited version is not source. Therefore, your cell reflect a part of you, but you aren't limited by your nature. Can alter your DNA because in your DNA is totality, infinite residence of your being that you can tap into it. Okay, so what I was saying before, the Hitler and the Haman. So some of the souls choose. Some souls are sent down to the earth, and they choose. Some have to choose to be good, or some have to choose to be bad. So choose to be the soul be the bad guy, or some souls choose to be the good guy. So you have Mordecai and Haman. All the honor and credit goes to Mordecai as a hero. He caused the Jewish people to complete the process of receiving the Torah because he refused to give up their identity. That caused the Jews to refuse to give up their identity, to bow down to Haman. The completion of the giving of the Torah was not at Mount Sinai, but at Purim, because Mordecai gave the Jews the strength to rise above their nature and accept their true nature with no limits and no distractions, no limits and no boundaries, to be true to yourself and not bow down to outside distraction. In actuality, if you want to be truthful, it was Haman who triggered all this. If Haman did not trigger the Jews, almost poking into their subconscious, telling them, you are a strange people. You are not like us. That outside identity of us must die. So true Jewish identity is revealed and not hidden. He said the truth. He triggered the Jews to do so because he challenged them. He brings out the best in you. He pokes you like these kung fu movies when they come out and say, let me see what you've got. Let me see what you're made of. Haman started it. When Haman comes to the world, they can lose their soul. These type of people can lose their soul. The people curse him and they have ill wishes for him. It's very risky to be a Haman, for the soul to choose this evil person. For Haman, he becomes the evil one. He believes that he is evil. And the more we believe he is evil, the more he takes on more evilness, and more he takes out the expression of evil. So our own fear of Haman creates the Haman. So I'm using the law of attraction and metaphysics to see here, understand what is really happening. And this triggered, we created Haman because within the Jewish soul, after the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, the Jew yearns for Jerusalem, and Haman, like Pharaoh, stubbornly went into our layers of our soul to release our nature. So the Jew yearns for Jerusalem. Haman wakes us up and exposes our soul to return to Jerusalem after the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. Okay, so also the Gemara talks about today. It talked about entering a field with a dead people. Entering a field with dead people affects me along the journey until you leave Egypt. The chametz is so you enter the field with dead people, affects you on the way until you leave Egypt, until you leave your boundaries. Chametz is the leftover of each attribute. The story is the facet of you. It's not the totality of you. All the stories in combination, there's only one facet. So you have it's like the 10 morsels of chametz that you leave out. You're finding only one morsel. You have to go through all 10. So you see one portion, it's only one attribute, it's only one story, it's not the totality. So you need to see the totality. Each piece of chametz represents a part of you, and also the swelling of ego, the rising of the bread, holding onto one piece, but because it made an impression on you. But you must look at the bigger picture. So just because this one piece made an impression on you and you're obsessing about it or dwelling upon it, you have to look at the bigger picture. You have to let go of this one piece, look at the bigger picture and redefine it, totally leave Egypt, turn the story over, bring it back to source, see all your stories together, see the bigger picture. Each piece is important to see the bigger picture, see God's intention behind the story, see the greater part of God. Later on, when they were in the desert, was a very peculiar law. It was a very peculiar law with the burning of a red heifer, mixing the ashes with purified water with the ashes of the burnt red heifer, and sprinkle it several times on a person who came in contact with a dead body or a dead person would be purified. So we could say, what's going on here? What is the meaning of this law that you burn a red heifer and then you mix its ashes with the water and the person would be purified? So how do we use this law today? When we come into a field of consciousness that have dead bones, similar to when we come into a field of consciousness, the kever was hidden and the dead bones may be scattered throughout it wasn't marked, wasn't labeled field, and we find a kever and the dead bones might be mixed within the field because they plowed the field over or something, and there's dead bones, so the person's impure, meaning the limited consciousness is veiled. Consciousness, how do we redeem ourselves as a people? We walked in pure, but the people around us are asleep. How do I stay in my vibration? So how will he not affect me? So this meaning is our limited consciousness. So we have a veiled consciousness. How do we redeem ourselves? The people we walk in, we walk in pure, but the people around us are asleep. And how do I stay in my vibration so he will not affect me? So you will slow down the vibration of the person affecting you, but if you can burn your story, the red heifer, the animal soul, so if you could change your story, you burn your story, the red heifer, the animal soul. So red, why do we choose? Why is it red? Adam, red or man. Adam is man. The letters represent man, and dam is blood. So limitations of our physicality of the soul, our being. We want to elevate. Adam, you must be willing to burn, sacrifice, burn, turn your story into ashes, completely nullify it. However, still the ashes mix, ashes with purified water, new awareness mixed, combination of sprinkling on the 7 attributes, everyone around you who is a reflection of that change to a higher interpretation of reality. Purify the people around you with your understanding. Everyone around you picks up your thoughts. You awaken everyone around you. So by sprinkling on the 7 attributes of everyone around you, it's reflection. You change this to a higher interpretation of reality. You purify the people around you with your new understanding. Everyone around you picks up your thoughts, and you awaken everyone around you. On the 7 times, the 7 midos still meet the reflection of you, but you must sprinkle it with water and ashes by believing and understanding with belief. Okay, so the 7 midos is reflection of you, but you must sprinkle it and with water and ashes by believing and understanding of the belief. So also using the cell phone excessively, you're intoxicated by your cell phone. So you have an addiction to the cell phone. Also, you have food addiction. So you have to be careful what you take in, what you eat, how much you eat, how much you use the cell phone. So a food addiction, phone restriction. And let's see. So also we could say, well, Esther invited Haman. Why did Esther invite Haman to the party? So we could say Esther gave Haman a chance to do teshuvah. She gave Haman a chance to do teshuvah, to admit the truth, to redeem himself. She bought time for the Jews. She wanted the Jews to participate in the process of redeeming themselves. So those are other reasons why Esther could have invited Haman, because she wanted Haman to do the teshuvah. She wanted to Haman to admit the truth, that his plan to kill the Jewish people and to redeem himself. She bought time for the Jews. She wanted the Jews to participate in the process of redeeming themselves. So I am Hashem, I am your God, willing to be slaughtered. So I am Hashem, your God, we're willing to be slaughtered. You change your story of slaughter to the previous identity. Not look at them as the villain, see something more than that, nothing but God. What do you mean curse? So I am Hashem, your God. You're willing to be slaughtered for this proposition. So you have to change your story to the previous identity. You have to not look at them, not the previous identity. Change your story. Not look at Haman or Hitler as the villain. See something more than that. There's nothing but God. If there's nothing but God, why do you curse them? What do you mean by cursed? So that is something related to what I said before. And we also could talk about why can't you drink grape soda? Why is it said like drinking non-kosher grape juice or non-kosher grape soda is even worse than eating pig or eating something non-kosher? Why grapes have to be kosher? So we do kiddush over wine. We define the world and we define the week, and we do the kiddush over the wine. So the person who prepares the wine has to be kosher, has to be specially prepared. It has to be kosher grapes and kosher wine, because we're bringing into the body the grapes, and the wine reveals the secrets of the Torah. We're bringing it to the mind, to the grape. The grape soda is not kosher because it's such a great thing that we're doing for Shabbat, is making kiddush and bringing out these secrets of the Torah. So it would be some great sin to drink non-kosher grape juice or grape non-kosher wine. So that's why it's so serious of offense. Anyways, I think that's all I got for today. We got 29 minutes, so I went a little over time for this, but I got it all done. And I just want to say it's a great thing, this Jewish education. and expanding the mind through Torah and learning about all these ideas. Just reading about it by yourself at home, you might be able to imagine it or think about it, but learning it with other people in a chavrusa or with other people around, you can experience it. It's an experience, and you live it for yourself, and it's something I can relate to myself and my own ideas, and becomes part of me, and I experience it, and it's very exciting. Anyways, thanks for listening, and have a good night. Shalom. Over and out. Shalom.